Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new dragging video. Guys, we have a dragging video to get through today, but before we do that, let's just quickly touch on two hot topics. Everything is timestamped, so if you just want to see the dragging portion, you can just use the timestamps in the description and in the comment section. I always post the timestamps in the comments as well. So the first thing we're going to talk about is luxury fashion influencer Wisdom posting a haul on TikTok. Well, first of all, he posted a luxury haul on TikTok of purchases from Miu Miu that broke as soon as he got home. And then he took the video down. Presumably Miu Miu contacted his management and asked him to take it down, and he did. And then they sent him replacement items that also broke. So a lot of people in the fashion space are talking about this and stuff like that. First of all, let me just say, I think he is fantastic. He's brilliant. He's wonderful. You know, he's absolutely fantastic. So I think he's great. Now, what I will say though is this: it was super interesting. I'm more interested in the reaction than although I have to say, in the second video where he uploads the he uploaded the second video where he shows the replacement pieces, he is wearing this what is I'm sure it's a real crocodile jacket, I was more interested in the crocodile jacket he was wearing. It was absolutely tough. It looked really, really good. I wonder if it is Hermes or Louis Vuitton. Maybe it's a Louis Vuitton crocodile jacket. I don't know. Anyway, so you can just go on TikTok and look up the videos. Just go on his TikTok, or just put Wisdom Miu Miu in TikTok search, and all the videos will come up. So basically that is what happened. So everyone's been reacting to this who's interested in luxury fashion, particularly on TikTok. I know he has a YouTube channel as well. And I think what I have found really interesting is like the response. Like a lot of people were like, oh my God, Miu Miu this, Miu Miu that. Obviously, those of us who know how these brands operate are like, we're not even surprised that that happened. And there was a super interesting response from a lot of people who support him. Obviously, everyone is on his side because he seems like a great guy. One of the things I really like about him, and I think is fantastic, is I like that he doesn't like do vlog sales. He doesn't sell his items to his followers. I have to say, guys, I'm just gonna say it, stand on business and say it. I really don't like watching creators who like sell their stuff after purchasing. I don't like watching you unbox your items and then you resell them to your followers so you can buy other things. I think it's just a personal preference thing. It doesn't matter what it is. That is something which happens in the YouTube space a lot. And I really appreciate that for him. You can tell he's a collector, he's truly an aficionado, and he's a connoisseur. And not many people have that connoisseur label, but he loves clothes. Like, that's someone who genuinely loves clothes and fashions. I really appreciate that we don't see him like, you know, hey guys, this is all these things that I bought, these are all the outfits I've made or whatever, but now go buy my things. I just have to say, I appreciate it. I don't like watching content creators like post videos and unbox things and then be like, hey guys, I'm going to be selling all of these things. I personally just don't like it. It's just me. And it's okay. Everything is for everyone before anyone has a moan. Before any of you moan about it, many people don't like me, and that's okay. Okay. Because I'm not for everyone. So I appreciate that about him. So I thought about the whole like drama and debacle. First of all, I wasn't surprised. Miu Miu and Prada have never been brands that I have naturally gravitated to. I like the look of some of Miu Miu's eyewear. I've always assumed that Miu Miu and Prada are very well made. I think Prada's clothing is very well made from what I've seen in stores. The experiences have always been basically very neutral. It's never been a great experience or a bad experience going to a Prada store, but it's never been like, oh my God, it's amazing. But then I'm not a Prada person. The only things I like from Prada, as many of you know who support me, are the perfumes. They're the only things that I like. I think the Prada perfumes are great. Prada is also the same house. I think one of the Glamazons had told me that, you know, they released their like high jewelry collection, and some of their high jewelry pieces don't even have natural diamonds or natural gemstones. I mean, I think it's pretty outrageous for you to be a top tier luxury brand and not to have natural gemstones and to charge natural gemstone prices. Sit your butt down, girl. I was checking for that. So you need to sit down. Okay, Big Prada. Now, obviously, we know that Miu Miu is Prada's like sister label, and it's obviously Miuccia Prada's invention. So Prada's like the family legacy, and then Miu Miu is like her brand. It's named after her. It's like her nickname, whatever. That's a very cool thing. I like that, the fact that it's like named after her. But I mean, what I don't understand is this. I'll tell you what I don't understand. Everyone's complaining about the quality. I don't really want to talk about that because that is a given at this point, that a lot of these products like don't pass quality control. But I think what I found so shocking about this is I think in a big city like New York or Paris or London or Milan, he would be known in luxury fashion boutiques. Like essays would see him walk in and be like, oh, that's Wisdom, a super famous fashion influencer, at least in those 4 big markets. In luxury stores, they know who he is when he walked in there. When he walked into the Miu Miu boutique, they knew that who he was. I don't understand why it didn't just take you 5 seconds to go find a good quality item. Something else which I really like about him, if you watched the original video, he took it down. I saw the original video before he took it down. And in the original video, he's very like, you know, Gucci about it. He's not angry or whatever. And I really appreciate that. He's not like, you know, I don't know, when Bethany was dragged at Big C, Bethany acted like, how dare they drag me? And I was like, Bethany, baby, Big C got you together, girl. They're not pressed, okay? He was very cool and chill out about it. It was almost like he didn't want to return the stuff because he doesn't want to make a fuss, right? My thing is like, how did the essays who work at Miu Miu, you see him walk in, how did you not just be like, oh, that's a really famous luxury fashion influencer? Not to treat him differently because everyone should have the same experience. But he's absolutely going to film a video about this. So let's make sure that we get the really nice pieces from the back at minimum. There are a lot of people commenting in different videos who were saying, oh, he should get stuff for free. And I remember just responding to someone, I'm like, that's not how like these luxury brands work. Like, people need to understand that luxury brands have this really strange obsession with what they call friends of the house. They have this image of who a client is and who a friend of the house is. I think that he sits in a very interesting vacuum where he is a client and spends a lot of money at the brand. He was a model as well. He was also a stylist, but he's also a collector. He's also a connoisseur, but he's also super famous in luxury fashion. So why hasn't he had that like friend of the house, you know, check given to him yet? I remember he didn't go to this year's Met Gala. There were a lot of questions about that. The Met Gala was about black dandies. He is a black dandy. Why wasn't he invited? And I think he posted on Twitter like he wasn't invited. Last year he went, he wore Robert One, but he went as a guest of TikTok. But this year he wasn't invited. So there's some industry politics there when it pertains to fashion influencers, where the fashion industry doesn't see influencers as really important. It was a similar thing that was happening at Sergio Hudson's New York Fashion Week. He had posted on his stories, just as a quick tangent, and we'll go back to Wisdom. He had posted on his stories like, oh, a lot of black A-list celebrities didn't turn up. I actually posted on my Threads account that, you know, he basically was saying like, oh, you know, a lot of black celebrities, A-listers, didn't turn up to his show, but went to other shows. And I'll say the quiet part out loud, and I'll just keep it Gucci because that's how we do on this page. Basically, what he's saying is a lot of black A-list celebs didn't turn up for him. By the way, Sergio Hudson's African-American, but they went to European shows. That's basically what he's saying. Now, my thing was, Sergio Hudson has been criticized in the past for not having diverse models in his shows. And it's only up until recently that we've begun to see changes. Like, if you're someone who follows Sergio Hudson, I think he's fantastic. But I do think it's a fair critique that he himself in his own shows hasn't had that. So there are a lot of industry politics. And there were a lot of black celebrities and influencers who did still turn up to his show. So to me, it kind of felt like, well, why are you saying that? There were people who turned up for you. Why are you worried about the people who didn't go to your show? Like, why do you care? You know, and there were people on Threads saying that they were like African-American stylists and African-American personal shoppers, and they had asked to come to a show, and his PR team said no. So sometimes it's like, double standard much. You know what I mean? I bring up the Sergio Hudson example to show the industry politics. There's a lot of politics here, and I think it's a similar thing with wisdom. He doesn't fit in one box specifically. He is a luxury fashion influencer, but he's also a connoisseur slash collector slash enthusiast. He loves clothes, he loves fashions. But at the same time, he spends a lot of his own money buying his own stuff. Okay. And I think a lot of his clothes are his own purchases. And of course, there'll be some gifted pieces, but a lot of them are him spending his money. Right. But then at the same time, I think a lot of people who have been watching his rise are wondering, why doesn't he have a friend of the house, friend of the house, like ambassadorship, maybe at a big brand? I would think a brand like Bottega Veneta would be a great vibe for him. Frankly, I think Louis Vuitton, I think Pharrell should definitely look into that. Why doesn't he have that? So I think it's because, again, the fashion industry just doesn't see the value of influencers. You know what I mean? And he is an influencer. Now, I did see someone post something interesting responding to this, like on a TikTok in the comment section. I agree with this comment, by the way. And the comment was basically saying they think he's fantastic. I agree. He's brilliant. But they were like, the people who follow him are not shopping at Miu Miu or Prada. I agree. Okay, two things can be true at once. You can think he's brilliant and fantastic, he is, but the people who follow him are not shopping at Big Miu Miu. They're not shopping at Big Prada. They're not. And the people who shop at Prada and who shop at Miu Miu don't care. They don't care. I agree. If we're in the territory of spending thousands of dollars on prêt-à-porter, quality is not so much an issue. People love branding and people love brands. Just yesterday, I posted a bespoke dress that I had made for myself here, but it's not branded. My husband was like, how come like people didn't watch that video as much as like when you post the Louis Vuitton unboxing, everyone goes to watch that. I'm like, because people love brands. And I think, guys, and by the way, I'm not offended if you didn't watch the video from yesterday. I'm not offended at all. People can watch what they like. But I was telling my husband, that's the power of branding. Luxury is 100% about branding all of the time. That's what people like. People can say, oh, I want quality. I want one person to make it for me, and it doesn't cost that much money. They're lying. People like expensive branded stuff, and that's what people like. I think for me as a marketer, the only thing I maybe just, the only thing I was thinking of just observing from the outside is when he took the original video down. I think that was actually a good idea, because I think the fashion industry is very weird about things like this. They don't like a critique. They don't like being criticized. And if you watch the videos, he is not rude whatsoever. He's just showing that the stuff broke. Like, he didn't even do anything, right? But he is someone who works in fashion. And I think if you want to have those opportunities, you can't critique brands. You just can't. And that's not to say that he can't have those opportunities, because he is super successful. He's doing a lot. He makes a ton of money doing this. But I definitely think brands, in my opinion, especially the European houses, the Italian and French houses, are really weird about critique. I think we've talked about this before, but there's he's like a French fashion influencer. He's called Lias. I think he was working at a magazine, like a famous magazine whose name escapes me. He lost, I think it was Interview magazine. He was like a correspondent there or something. He lost that opportunity because he critiqued Maria Grazia's one of her like collections before she left, and he said it was bad. He was like, I think he was like invited to the show, and he gave a harsh critique, and then the magazine sacked him, and then he didn't get a dual invitation again. The New York Times have talked about this. I think I'd also mentioned this before, that basically he started doing these watch parties because he wasn't invited to Fashion Week again, and then that became a business opportunity. But I think he gave a good review for Dior, and then apparently Jonathan Anderson had one of the new book totes sent to him. So there's a lot of industry politics there. So I remember even with the Liar situation, a lot of people were on TikTok were saying like, oh, okay, but now that you gave a nice review, you were sent a book tote by Jonathan Anderson. But by the same token, I was on an Instagram blog reading comments, and someone had said that they didn't like Anderson's Dior looks at I think the Venice Film Festival, one of those film festivals that happened recently. I think that person had said that they posted on their story, and apparently Jonathan Anderson, they posted on their story Or they also put it in a comment, and apparently he responded and wrote LOL and then blocked them. Now, I thought that was so funny because I think it's really cool that he's online. To me, I love that. I think that shows that he's paying attention to what people say. Again, we'll see his maiden collection for Dior Women's this October, so that should be super exciting. But I say all of this to say that there's a lot of industry politics. So with the situation of Wisdom, you know, I don't think he meant to drag Big Miu Miu, but he did drag Miu Miu, and we love a good drag, honey. Literally, the stuff fell apart in the unboxing video. That is not acceptable. You can say what you want about Louis Vuitton. Everyone has smoke for Louis Vuitton. I've never seen a Louis Vuitton unboxing haul video where someone's items fall apart when they're being unboxed. So I want people to keep a Gucci boo-boo. And this is the company that's bought my beloved Versace. So we'll see, you know, how things go. But fundamentally, does it affect Miu Miu? No. Does it affect Prada? No. Does it mean people are going to start buying the brands? No. And the person on TikTok who was like, the people who follow him aren't the clients of Miu Miu and Prada. I agree. The people who are like supporting him and look at all his outfits and stuff and look at whatever, it's not shade or anything, but they're not Miu Miu or Prada clients. They're not going to go to Miu Miu today and spend like £2,000, $2,000, 2,000 euros on clothing, or 5,000 euros, $5,000 on clothing. And the people who do spend money on Miu Miu's clothing, and prêt-à-porter and accessories and all of this stuff, they don't care. They don't care that the buttons fell off in the haul, because they're gonna be like, the buttons fell off for him, but I'm Gucci, honey, because I have my other things, and they're not gonna fall off for me. You know, luxury customers do what they want to do with their coins, honey. And that's what it is. So I'd love to know what you think about that one. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And now let's move on okay, the next thing I want to quickly tell you, and this one will be short and sweet. Your girl Big H beat the lawsuit in America. The news just came out. Big H, honey, she was like, I'm Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay? Big H is literally rolling up in the States like she's Napoleon Bonaparte. Listen, guys, I don't feel sorry for those rich people who tried to sue Big H. Big H dragged them, honey. They don't have any hair left because they got dragged. A judge in California, I believe, threw out the lawsuit. The lawsuit's over. Now, congratulations. Now you're going to be absolutely shadow banned from the house, and you're never going to be offered anything again. Okay, that's great in my Tony's Frosty's voice. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay, let's go on to the dragging portion now. Let's start off here at the Louis Vuitton boutique in Dublin at the Brown Thomas department store in Ireland. A horrible experience. I went here around 7:30 at night. I was not greeted. I wasn't assisted. The store was half empty. The staff just stared and ignored me while I asked for help. They rudely responded they don't have any bags. In fact, they had them on the shelf. I regret buying from this place. I should have walked out. You know, we've talked about this before, Leopards, like how brands are really like, brands in Europe are really weird about opening and closing times. They really don't like you coming at when it's like wrapping up at 7:30 at night. It's a department store in Ireland. Maybe closing time was coming soon. They're not really happy with you kind of milling around like when it's getting late. That's just not something that they like, you know. And again, I'm not saying it's right per se, but I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised that I got dragged. The next one is the Gucci flagship in Florence in Italy. I think this is the first time I'm featuring Big Gucci on here. I was on the website looking at the Giglio and also looking at the Emblem bucket bag. So hopefully on my next trip to Europe, or maybe even if I can go to South Africa, I can pick them up because there is a store there. Okay, so this is the Florence flagship. Of course, Gucci is from Florence, as we all know. Today we went to the store with my sister, mother, and husband. Already, you know, this is going to go bad because they went as a group and didn't make an appointment. They each bought a bag, and while shopping, someone stole over $2,000 out of my mum's purse. The staff reassured us that our items were safe on the counter as they were trying bags out. Evidently not. Such a waste for them to have so much security in and around the store when something like this can happen so easily in what one believes to be a safe place. The store was unable to pull surveillance footage, thus a police report was made. But it will take weeks to investigate, and probably this will be resolved. Ruined the whole experience. Watch your personal belongings. watch your personal belongings here. This is very unfortunate. I have to say, I was shocked when I saw this. But let me tell you something. I don't know about you guys. I don't trust anyone with my belongings at all. I don't care where I am. I don't care what store I'm in. I don't care. I don't care if it's Zara. I don't care if it's big Gucci's Florence flagship mothership store. This is the mothership store for Gucci worldwide because it's the Florentine flagship. If the SA says your stuff is safe here, let me tell you, I would take my bag, take whatever bags I'm trying on, and I am walking to the mirror with the bag I came in with. I wouldn't leave it on the counter anywhere. Whether it's H&M, whether it's Zara, whether it's Big Gucci, I am not. So the people who are confident leaving their stuff there, you have lost your mind. Very unfortunate. The next one is same place, the Florence flagship. I walked in looking for a specific bag. I showed the SA and they didn't have it. She showed me a similar product, but I didn't like it as well. I still wanted to look around to see if I liked anything else. The female SA followed me around and kept showing me the exits. They kept showing me the exits. I politely said, I'm still looking. She continued to follow me and show me the exits. I kept saying, I'm still looking. It was so rude and discouraged me to not to buy from the store, but also to stop buying from Gucci as well. I mean, she's showing you the exits, girl, because she's like, girl, please, you're not buying anything. And you proved her right. You didn't buy anything. Some of these things, they just like write themselves. Next one is the same place, the Florence flagship of Big Gucci. As a fashion student and a fan of Gucci, I was curious to see the new collection in the store. The moment I walked in, I was judged by staff. Luxury fashion brands like Gucci are supposed to sell you dreams, not products. Okay, you should come work for me in my marketing agency. I like that. They're supposed to sell you dreams, not products. I like that. I was treated like a threat and quickly redirected to the exit. Such a condescending attitude when I was just curious and being enthusiastic. Fashion is also about creating beauty, not only money. Okay, I'm ashamed of this industry. Girl, let me tell you something, girl. First of all, Big Gucci's Florence flagship are not playing around with you. Do not be walking up in there if you're not ready to buy something. They're going to show you the exit. They'll be like, yo, Kagem and Edwin just walked up in here. Are you buying anything today? As I always tell you, make sure you tell them I am buying something today. And then they're going to be like, go there, the exits. Look, this particular one reminds me of something that an American fashion student had posted, I think in New York. She was told by her fashion student lecturer, her fashion lecturer at whatever college she was at, to go into a luxury store and do like a project. And she goes in, she tries on clothes that she has zero intention of buying. And I believe the brand was Ralph Lauren. Got skull dragged. It was on TikTok as well. I think this was like from 2 years ago. Got skull dragged. And people were like, oh, they're so mean, they're so rude. And it's like, but what did they do wrong? You are a student. You are not buying anything today. There are certain brands that are very welcoming to fashion students. I know that Moschino don't mind fashion students coming into the store and looking around. I know that the Moschino boutique in Manhattan in New York, in Soho, I know they're very welcoming to fashion students, but you definitely need to say like, hey, I'm just a student, I just want to look around and take some pictures, is it okay with you? That way the essay's not wasting time with you. I'm sure if she walked in and said, I'm just a student looking around, is it okay? They probably would have said okay. And also, I wouldn't have gone to the flagship Florence boutique. I probably would have just gone to like a smaller Gucci to look around. But they were judging her. She should have let them know, like, I'm a student, she's not buying anything, but she's a fashion student. You never know, she might be the next like big thing in fashion. It wouldn't have cost them anything to be nice to her, but at the same time, she should have been very clear that she's not buying anything today. And maybe some people feel nervous and feel shy about the fact that they're not buying anything, which then just compounds the issue even more. Same place, Florence, Big Gucci. I mean, the Florence Gucci flagship, honey, is dragging everyone today. Horrible attitude from SA1. She completely ignored us after I said I needed to wait for my husband to arrive with our cash to pay. She already moved on to the next customer and wouldn't give us the time of day. They're much nicer in the US. I think that there are a few things here which we've chatted about before, those like cultural misunderstandings. I do think that brands need to understand that in a lot of cultures around the world, men pay for things. In African culture, it's completely normal for men to pay for things for their families. Even if the woman works, it's completely normal. So I don't understand if her saying that my husband's coming with the money to pay, why would that get her dragged? She's just waiting for her husband to come to pay or her boyfriend to come to pay, whatever. Like, why is that a big deal? I don't really understand when brands get weird about stuff like that. For example, in African culture, like I said, is completely normal. In more patriarchal cultures, it's normal for the man to pay, and particularly in situations like this, maybe a wife or a girlfriend would be like, oh, my boyfriend or my husband's coming to pay. Can you just hang on? Yeah, sure, no problem. And then once he's here, just let me know. We'll process the payment. That's it. You know, maybe the essay was like, oh, she's not going to buy anything. You know, she's just saying that, she's lying. I mean, I don't know about that. I think that's a bit unfair. The next one is the Gucci New Bond Street, London flagship in the UK. I'm 17 and I went to the store with my friends to go shopping. The security guard wouldn't let us in. He said we're too young. We had to go to the other Gucci store that doesn't sell flagship products. You know, I think that the problem with children shopping alone at these stores is that I think the adults just kind of feel like this is a minor child who is not buying anything. Even if they have a card which is like, you know, registered to their mom or whatever, and they're like an authorized user or their dad, I feel like the SAs and the people who work in these stores are like, these are just kids coming here to waste time, and they're coming here to touch things and they have zero intention of buying. At the end of the day, in the UK still, to be considered an adult, you have to be 18. She's 17. Her friends are presumably 17 as well. They are minor children in the store. They are minors in the boutique. And as far, I think maybe there might be some liability issues. I don't know. And I think maybe they're just like, maybe it's just easier if you guys just go away. You know, get out of here. You know? Okay, the next one is the Gucci boutique in the Rue Saint Honore. I just directly went to the store to get the shoes I really wanted. But this is Saint Honore in Paris. But the lady who was attending was not welcoming. Within 2 seconds of showing me the shoes, she asked me, do you want to buy? Yes or no? Hey, Virgin Mary, you hear that? You see? You see? Tell them that I'm right. You see, girl? Tell them that I'm right. Within 2 seconds of showing me the shoe, she asked me, do you want to buy? Yes or no? It took less than 5 minutes to completely change mindset only because of poor customer service. Clowns, I'm just waiting for you guys to say Kagem's right. She's been saying this for years. When you walk in, make sure you let the essay know you are buying something today. This essay is obviously tired. Maybe there are people just milling around in there who have zero intention of buying anything. So they've decided to just be asking people, are you buying something, yes or no? I always just let them know, I am buying this. Okay, if I walked in there, I'd be like, hey, I want to buy a pair of Gucci shoes. I want to buy some shoes today for me and my husband. Show me the shoes you have. I'm definitely buying shoes today. You need to make it clear you're buying today. Next one is the Gucci Avenue Montaigne boutique in Paris. I was super excited to buy my daughter her Paris souvenir, only for both of us to be totally disappointed. When I arrived to the Gucci boutique in Paris looking for a belt, I was neither approached nor totally... I was totally disregarded. The employees are everything but helpful. And when we found what we wanted on our own, what we were looking for, my daughter was approached by an essay and asked to hand over the belt so someone else can try it on. Oh my God. I explained to the essay I was purchasing the item. The employee insisted it was not her size and grabbed it out of her hand. Grabbed it out of my hand to give it to a customer she was working with. Needless to say, the customer purchased the belt. We were left there standing empty-handed, disappointed. I felt so bad for my daughter. This is outrageous. Big Gucci girl, you are wrong for this. You are wrong for this. We've talked about this before. Like, if you don't want to... Gucci is known for their belts, honey. There's certain things that Gucci's known for. They're known for their shoes. They're known for their belts. Okay, and they're known for the double G Supreme, you know, monogram. And they're known for the Marmont bags as well. You are known for your belts. You're known for that. Okay, that flagship on the Avenue Montaigne, it's very luxurious. It's very grand looking. I think I'll pass by on the next trip as well. I'll probably pass by there and have a look. It does look super luxurious. Sometimes there's a queue. I remember when I would, anytime I would walk past it, there were always people milling around outside, people waiting to go inside. I mean, I just don't understand. Like, I personally just don't understand. Why would you like take the belt out? And the mom said, "I'm buying the belt." You took the belt. That means they didn't think that they were buying anything. The essay is like, "Oh, please, you're not buying anything. I'm taking the belt and I'm giving it to the client who's actually buying something, who probably bought a ton of stuff." Again, if you don't want people to walk in just to buy belts, stop making belts. I wouldn't walk into that Gucci standalone to only buy a belt. But to be fair, Gucci makes belts. So, you know. The next one is the Hermes boutique in Istanbul in Turkey. As usual, I was looking for two things very specifically. I was looking for a diamond watch and a Kelly bag. Yes, God. I found the watch and I told him I want a bag. He called someone who was the rudest person on earth for me, who's a very frequent Hermes customer, was telling me, "What do you want?" I told him, then he said there is none. Then I apologized to him. "I'm not buying the watch without the bag." I agree. Oh, she's right. He got so angry, he said it's not appropriate to link both or to twist us to get you a bag. And then she puts in brackets, "Dear, this is your only way of offering people a bag." So true. The only leather store on earth where you can buy anything but not leather goods. So funny, LOL. Yeah, I mean, she's right. She's right. Girl, I am not buying a diamond Big H watch unless it comes with a Birkin or Kelly. Facts. She's absolutely right. And she did the right thing. I'm buying both of them. Now, again, language barriers are a thing. Cultural nuances and cultural perspectives are also important. It's my understanding that the boutiques in Turkey are very much for locals and they really only want to cater to their top spending local clients. But honestly, a diamond watch is sufficient. Their watches are very expensive. I think some of the diamond watches are like 20,000 euros, like 20 bands for a diamond watch. You could take that 20 bands and you could add 5,000 more and you could get a full gold watch at Cartier, like the Panthera or whatever. I have to say, I just think like in this kind of situation, she's right. This is, it's very rare that I side with clients because I think a lot of the times people in these dragging reviews are delusional. This is a top spender. She knows what she has to do. She picked out the watch and she's like, "I'd like you to get me a bag too." Now, could she have phrased it differently? I think it's possible to be like, "Okay, cool, I want to buy a watch. Anything else? Yeah, I'd like to buy a bag to go with the watch." And I think you could say something like this. If I was in her situation, I'd say something like this. I'd say something like, "Okay, cool, I'm super excited about the watch. Do you want to buy anything else?" So they're going to ask you, "Do you want anything else?" Even if they don't ask you, then you're like, "Okay, I'd like to also buy a Kelly. Do you have any Kellys available?" I think you need to be specific. I think especially if there's like, if you bought a really expensive piece of back and bait, I think you can be very direct and be like, "Do you have any Kelly bags available?" Don't twist us to buy a bag. "Oh no, I'm not twisting you to buy a bag, but I really would like to get the watch and the Kelly bag like on the same receipt. Do you think we can make something happen? Do you think that could be possible?" Make it sound a little bit better than that and clean it up and make it sound a little bit more glossy than that. But I think she's spot on. This is one of the very few times, okay, that I have seen someone in a dragging review where I completely agree with them. I would do the same thing. I am not buying the watch without the bag. It's not going to happen. And BK, well, you know that. I don't think she did anything wrong. Maybe there's a cultural misunderstanding, perhaps, but they know very well. The Big H essay here knows very well how it works at Big H. Okay, so she's right. Maybe I think if she had done this in France, she would have been offered a bag. And frankly, I think in France, even in Italy, I think probably would have been offered. So it's my understanding the boutiques in Istanbul really just want to cater to their top spenders. The next one is the Hermes boutique in Athens in Greece. They don't want to sell to travelers. I was just here asking for some non-hot items like clothes and shoes. They said no to everything and kept browsing on their phone. I've been to many Hermes stores around the world in Europe, Asia, and the US, and none were like this. Don't waste your time. The boutique in Athens really only wants to serve Greek clients. And I think if you don't speak Greek, I don't think that this store, there's so many people reviewing this store who said that it just seems like it's just for people who are from Greece and who speak the language. The final review is the Hermes boutique in Greece in Athens. sorry, the Hermes boutique in Athens in Greece. I wanted to buy one of the Pickletown bags in the shop window. The female essay said it's only for display. They don't sell it. No possibilities to buy. I left the store and I was waiting for a friend outside. From the window, I saw a lady, a mature lady, try the grey one, and they brought the bag to the cashier. So I entered again to ask if I can buy the blue one, and why do they sell the grey one if it's only for display? The female essay said, we didn't sell it. This isn't true. I saw them. I didn't even want to verify it. I'm so disappointed. Again, this store is well known, honey, that they only deal with people who are from Greece. I mean, I think it's pretty outrageous. Like, she watched you take a bag off display, sell it to another client, but you wouldn't sell her one. Yeah, so they probably know that client. What do you think about today's dragging reviews? What do you think about everything? What do you think about the Miu Miu dragging drama, about Big H getting the lawsuit thrown out? Big H Napoleon, honey. Call me Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay? That's what Big H is. And what do you think of all the stories from today? Honestly, I'm quite shocked about Big Gucci, honey, dragging everyone and getting everyone together in Florence. Big Gucci's like, Florence is my hometown. This is the hometown of the brand. The brand was founded there. Ferragamo and Gucci are both from Florence, Firenze, in Italian. I low-key think Gucci's wild. We know that the brand is going through some turmoil right now, but I'm sure that they'll be fine and they'll figure it out. It's still, to me, it's still an iconic luxury brand. I still put Gucci up there as a top 5 luxury brand for sure. I'm quite shocked about some of the dragging stories from today. And I think particularly this one here of, refusing to sell someone a display bag. And the thing with the display bag thing is it's different in different markets. Some of those display bags, it's like the store has ordered them from Paris and they can't be sold. Other times the store has a thing where they will sell it. Because I know some of you will be like, oh, they can't be sold, this and this and this. But that's not true. They do sell them. And they have sold display quota bags to clients. There was a store in Europe who the actual location just escapes me, but I remember speaking to a Glamazon who told me that someone had walked in and dropped a ton of cash on prêt-à-porter and asked for one of the bags that was on display. It was a quota bag. And then after speaking to the manager and a few essays were having a discussion, they sold this client the bag. And the Glamazon saw it happen as well. That's why I featured this review, because it reminded me of what the Glamazon told me. And she was like, I thought they said they don't sell display bags. I'm like, they sell them to who they want to sell them to. And if they don't want to sell it to you, they'll be like, oh, we're not selling it. It's from Paris. Top ranking execs own that bag and have loaned it to us. They will tell the girls anything, okay? They will tell you anything. They will call you anything except a child of God at this point. Like, Big H doesn't even care. They will say anything. But they do sell display bags from time to time. Maybe not in every single store, but they do. So it's just something to put out there. If you like my dragging videos, please continue watching them. Like, comment, share, and subscribe for future videos. And join my Facebook groups linked below. But most importantly, join the newsletter, because that's really where the magic is happening. And I'm really happy with where the newsletter is going. I sent a newsletter on Monday. I'm trying to find my rhythm for the newsletter, because often what happens is, like, my childcare providers don't work on Sundays, and Saturday is also a really busy day because some of them come for a portion of the day, then they go home. So I'm like super busy with my son and stuff as well. So if I have time to write a newsletter on the weekend, I will. But on Sunday, I'm taking care of my son, so I won't have time. So I'm trying to find a rhythm that works for the newsletter. We might have a situation where maybe I'll just be sending it on Mondays, and if I can send a bonus one on the weekend, I will. But Monday, it tends to be a bit better for me just because it's the beginning of the work week. I'm at the office, so I have more time to like write the newsletter. I was thinking about maybe once I go traveling, maybe when I'm traveling, I can send maybe 3 a week because I'll just be doing more things. So we'll see. But for right now, Monday, the newsletter will be coming out, and then maybe a bonus newsletter on the weekend if I have time. So you'll let me know what you think about everything. Like, comment, share, and subscribe as I told you. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. I'll see you in my next video. I'm out.